As the daughter of immigrants, financial struggles were part of my everyday reality. In high school, I became homeless and had to live in a women's shelter. Thankfully, being an APIA McDonald Scholar enabled me to attend college and begin a new chapter in my life. And now, my reality is filled with endless possibilities.
맥도날드는 아시안 아메리칸 학생들을 위해 APIA 스칼라스로 약 $300만 지원했습니다. 자세한 정보는 apanext.com.
네, 안녕하세요. 맥도날드 2024 APA 넥스트 온라인 칼리지 워크숍에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 저는 이번 워크숍 진행을 맡은 미주중앙일보 박경은입니다. 중앙일보가 주최하는 이번 온라인 워크숍은 맥도날드 APA 넥스트 프로그램의 후원으로 미래를 준비하는 차세대를 위해 다양한 분야의 전문가와 그들의 인사이트를 소개해주고자 마련됐습니다. 맥도날드는 2019년부터 아시아 태평양계 학생들을 지원하기 위해 APIA 스컬러스를 통해 약 $300만 수여해왔습니다. 올해는 시그넷 에듀케이션과 함께하는 대학 입시 세션과 옐로우 체어 컬렉티브의 정신건강 지원 프로그램을 포함한 오프라인 행사가 11월 16일에 에머슨 칼리지 LA 캠퍼스에서 열립니다. 더 자세한 내용은 영상 시청 후 apanext.com에서 확인해 주시기 바랍니다. 그럼 본격적으로 워크숍 인터뷰를 시작하겠습니다. 맥도날드 APA 넥스트가 후원하는 2024 온라인 칼리지 워크숍의 첫 번째 멘토는 바로 우리 커뮤니티를 위해 매해 참석하여 UC 대입 관련 유익한 정보를 제공해 주시는 브라이언주 UC 얼바인 입학사정관입니다. 브라이언주 입학사정관을 모셔보겠습니다. Thank you, Mr. Ju, for joining us for the 2024 APA Next workshop. It's an honor to have you for today.
No, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be able to join you and help out with the APA event.
Thank you. So before we start, could you introduce yourself?
Sure, absolutely. My name is Brian Ju. I am the Senior Director for Undergraduate Admissions at UC Irvine, and I've been a staff member at UC Irvine for about 24 years now, and I was also a student at UCI. I graduated in a major called Criminology, Law, and Society.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start with this question. So, can you share some key insights into how UC admissions have evolved in recent years?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest key insights is that, as many of you know, we removed the SAT and ACT requirement from our applications. So essentially going test-free or test-blind really allowed us to actually review applications through a comprehensive review process. So this actually expanded our ability to look more into students, not only just their academic ability, but their extracurricular activities, their context, their personal circumstances. So right now we actually use a variety of different factors in order to determine and evaluate a student's application.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Many students and parents may feel uncertain about how to present themselves on their college application. So what advice do you have for students when applying for the UC application?
Yeah, I would always kind of advise students, really just be yourself, be authentic. There's multiple ways in which a student can sort of present who they are, maybe through their extracurricular activities, their involvements, and especially the area of the PIQs, the personal insight questions. It's a great opportunity for students to be able to put in their own words the many different factors that who they are. They're able to explain maybe their challenges, their own unique story, the context they have, some of their strengths, some of their talents and abilities. So it's really more of how they can present themselves on the application rather than trying to fit into a formula. It's more of really them advocating for themselves and putting as much authentic information as they can.
And UC Irvine has consistently ranked among the top public university. So what makes UC Irvine a standout institution, and what should students consider when deciding if it's the right fit for them?
Right. Yeah, I'm just really proud that UC Irvine has really grown in the last few years. For the last 10 years or so, we've been a top 10 public university, and I think that really speaks to our campus's research ability, the academic quality, our sort of student-first mentality, and for students to be able to be involved in like public and community service. I think those are hallmarks of just UC Irvine students, and I think really a lot of it has to do with just not only just the rankings and academic ability, but what are the right academic programs that a campus has to offer? I would also suggest looking at the personality, maybe the student body, the advantages of the location too. Do they want to be in a city area, suburban area, urban area like that? And are there things around the campus that will allow them to succeed? Not only just fun things and activities and maybe people and places, but also things like research or companies and internships and different areas where they can actually grow and expand their student experiences.
Yeah, thank you. Some universities are considering reintroducing SAT and ACT, but the UC system is still moving forward with the test-free policy. So how does this impact students applying to UC school?
Yeah, for the foreseeable future, UC is still not going to go back to requiring SAT or ACTs. And so I think in general, every part of the application is used to give a student an opportunity to talk about themselves and to be unique and to present themselves. And so I really believe that students just don't take advantage of that as much on the application. And so taking advantage of how they describe themselves through the extracurricular activities. It's not the activity itself, but what is their role in there? And same thing with the PIQs. How do they sort of explain a little more unique things about themselves, whether they are unique challenges, maybe it's the context in which they live, maybe it's their family environment or their school environment, and maybe it's opportunities or challenges that they've had to kind of either face or overcome. As long as students sort of present themselves on the application, that's what we're sort of looking for. And so students can sort of maximize their opportunities based on how much they present themselves on the application.
Many students are interested in like STEM field. So have you noticed any trends in the UC applicant pool?
Yeah, absolutely. STEM definitely tends to be one of the popular areas for majors for obvious reasons. A lot of students are obviously still applying to areas like biological sciences, computer sciences, engineering, business areas. And although those are very, very popular majors, know that a lot of the UCs have a lot of other really wonderful majors, and you don't necessarily have to go into a STEM major to work in a STEM type of career. There's a lot of good foundational knowledge that you can take, and you can also still get exposure to STEM classes without going into a specific STEM major. And so STEM tends to be very competitive in terms of applicant pools. So I would always encourage students, pursue a passion. Find out some subject or area that they would be willing to kind of consider and see maybe that might be a more of an interest of major. A lot of times is, don't rely on your parents or your teachers or anyone to kind of tell you what you should be doing. Really take time to explore the different majors and programs and passions that you have, and you might find out that that's actually a better fit at the university that you're applying to.
As an Asian American, did you face any specific challenges when preparing for college? And how did you overcome those challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the many Asian Americans, there's a lot of pressure to sort of succeed and go to college. I know for my own family, it was very much you're going to go to college. That was not really an option. It was more of a requirement. And I think sometimes with Asian Americans, there's the added pressure of having to get into a good college. What I would kind of suggest to overcome is that it's not all about the academics. I think, especially with our comprehensive review for the University of California, there's 13 different criteria that we look at, and maybe only 4 or 5 of those areas are really focused on the academics. So it's not always just about strong grades or strong test scores or strong classes, but it's also having a well-rounded nature. It's being able to be involved in activities. It's being a leader. It's maybe volunteering or working or doing something that's outside of the classroom that would be some area that you're interested in. So there's many other areas and focuses that we're looking at besides just the academics. And what we really like to see is a really good balance of a student, someone who's obviously involved on campus, involved in their extracurricular activities, but also doing well academically, because that's typically really what a current UC student is going to be like, is that they're going to be involved in a lot of things, plus being able to expected to maintain their grades. And so, I would just remind students it's not always about just the academics. It's about being able to showcase the other things that you're maybe interested in or you have strengths in.
As the daughter of immigrants, financial struggles were part of my everyday reality. In high school, I became homeless and had to live in a women's shelter. Thankfully, being an APIA McDonald Scholar enabled me to attend college and begin a new chapter in my life. And now, my reality is filled with endless possibilities.
맥도날드는 아시안 아메리칸 학생들을 위해 APIA 스칼라스로 약 300만 달러를 지원했습니다. 자세한 정보는 apanext.com.
How did you approach presenting your authentic self during the admission process?
Yeah, a lot of it was really just understanding that the PIQs and the extracurricular activities is my area that I can actually control. A lot of times the areas like academics or the classes you take, they're sort of locked in by the time you apply as a senior. You really can't change your classes or your grades too much. But the area that I can have the most control over was really the personal insight questions. And because there's 4 different questions, you have the opportunity to talk about 4 different areas or strengths or things that you want the admissions officer to know. And I think that's the biggest hint I would give, is that you have 4 different opportunities to showcase something different about yourself. Don't repeat yourself. Don't talk about maybe the same scenario, or don't mention information that you've already mentioned on the application. Every part of the application is used to sort of maximize your opportunities to present something new about yourself. And so that's what I was able to do. I was able to, focus one on academics, maybe focus one on my involvements, another one on my contacts, and maybe another one on the areas that I serve as a leader. And so it was able to kind of give a more balanced perspective to my application rather than just focusing on one area.
Thank you. And this is the last question. So what message would you like to share with students who are worried about the college application process?
Yeah, I think it goes back to just that pressure of, don't worry about the pressure of having to get into a specific college because it might be high ranking or it might be an expectation of someone outside of you. Really, there's so many good opportunities for college. It's not necessarily about which college you get into, but it's more about which college is going to be the best fit. As an admissions officer, it's not my job to get you into the college. It's my job to review your application to make sure this is a good fit for you. And so this is a really great opportunity to explore the different colleges and find out. You might find a college that maybe is not necessarily on everyone's radar, but it's a better fit for you based on the environment, maybe the teaching style, maybe the majors or programs that they have, maybe their ability to help you get into the next level. Remember, the whole goal of getting into college is not just getting into a college, but it's really graduating with that degree and graduating from a place that you feel you can be successful at. If you go to a place that maybe you don't want to go to or you don't feel like it's going to be a good fit, you're not going to have a great time and you're most likely not going to do well there. And so it's a lot of it is about fit, and it's not necessarily what other people are saying. You really should take the time to explore and to find out what is going to be a good fit for you in terms of your success and where you want to go in terms of your career.
Okay, thank you once again, Mr. Ju, for sharing your valuable insight and advice with us. We truly appreciate your time and perspective, which will inspire and guide many students for their college admission.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for the opportunity. I always enjoy being able to share my perspective and assist as many students as I can for this process.
Thank you.